introduce our next speaker. She's a brilliant lady with a Bachelor of Science degree in business and a Bachelor of Arts degree in French language and culture, all from Wake Forest University. She served as Director of Consulting at Metier Group. And right now, please join me in welcoming Sara Kessinger, who is now the Director of Knowledge Management at Metier Group.
Thanks, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay? Let me turn this on. Everybody can hear me okay in the back? Okay, good. Thank you for having me today. I'm really excited to be here to spend the next hour with you talking a little bit about project portfolio management and Metier and what we do. Let me start first of all by saying that I am very interactive. I'm hoping that you're going to ask me a lot of questions. I'm hoping that when I ask you questions that hopefully you'll participate at least a little bit and we can make this really interactive. So please feel free to interrupt me, raise your hand, shout things out. I don't mind. I'm really open to that. So let me move on here. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit first of all about Metier, about our company and what we do. I'm going to talk a little bit about the state of the industry and project portfolio management, and then I'm going to move into 10 trends that we've been seeing in the industry. First of all, a little bit about Metier. Has anybody heard of Metier before? All right, I see 2 hands. That's exciting. So yes?
What quadrant are you in on the Gartner chart?
Good question. We do not participate in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. You have to be a client to participate in that, and that's not something that we do. However, we are currently participating in the Forrester Wave. Have you ever seen that? So they're doing a new wave this year. It is coming out in December, and we're participating in that right now, actually.
If you had to say which quadrant you were in, roughly which one would it be?
Well, me...
Are you on par with HP and Clarity in terms of all the different packages and components?
Yeah. Certainly, we run up against HP and Clarity a lot. We just actually, one of our newest clients is the state of California, and it was a down select between us and Clarity, and they just chose us about a couple of weeks ago, actually. So certainly we compete against them a lot. Depending on, the exact industry and where we are, we will also compete against project management tools like at-task, adaptive, and things of that nature too. So it really does vary a lot, but absolutely that's a good analogy in terms of tools that you might be familiar with and where we are.
So in the marketplace, what is roughly what is your footprint? Do you have 10% of the market, 20% of the market?
Gosh, 10% at the most probably. We have a pretty big footprint here in the DC area since we're located here. And let me get into a little bit about the company, and I'll talk a little bit about that and hopefully answer some of your questions. But we are headquartered here and located in the Washington, DC area. We're in Arlington, Virginia, so we're just around the corner. We've been in business for about 10 years. We are a project portfolio management solutions company, and we say solutions because we focus on both the software and the services together, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. But the name of our software is WorkLenz, so you may have heard of the tool WorkLenz, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, but I'm not going to focus too heavily on the tool because I do want to talk about kind of the state of the industry as a whole and trends that we're seeing. But I am going to kind of mix in a little bit of that because I think you're all probably in your profession looking for what tools are out there and what capabilities they have to offer. So certainly I'm more than happy to answer some of those questions and talk about some of that as well. So like I said, we've been in business for about 10 years. To give you an idea of who some of our clients are, we do have a pretty big footprint here in the Metro DC area. So we work with a lot of systems integrators like Lockheed Martin, IBM, CACI. We also work with a lot of government agencies, so the FBI, the U.S. Agency for International Development, Customs and Border Protection, and DHS. So we work with a lot of different federal agencies. We also work with a lot of state and local. So we just started working with the state of California, for example. We work with the city of Miami Beach as another example, so we've got a really wide variety of customers around the United States. We are a 4-time Inc. company. Inc. companies are published each year by Inc. magazine, and it is a list of the fastest growing privately held companies. So we're really excited about that. We're growing pretty quickly, seeing a lot of traction in PPM and a lot of interest and a lot of growth. So certainly that's one of the areas that we're really excited to be a part of. Any questions about our company in general and what we do? We focus 100% on PPM, so we don't have any other kind of focus areas or practice areas. That's our bread and butter, if you will.
Is the concentration of your customer base mostly public?
Yeah, I would say so. We do have certainly a concentration within the commercial industry as well. So for example, one of our newest customers is a cheese manufacturer, a cheese container manufacturer in France. So certainly there is a pretty wide variety in terms of the types of organizations who are using our software, but we do have a pretty heavy footprint in the public space and the systems integrators. Yes?
Are you partnered, you mentioned IBM, Lockheed, and so forth, are you partnered with any of the ERP providers, Oracle or SAP, or any of those things?
We are not, no. Let me talk, thank you for that question. Let me talk a little bit about our products and services and what we offer. So I mentioned this earlier, WorkLenz is our primary software, our flagship software. It is project portfolio management. So with the software, you have project management tools and capabilities, you have program management, and then you have the portfolio management piece. So one of the things that we like to say, or that we hear a lot, is that if you ask 10 different people what project portfolio management is, you'll get 10 different answers. So let me ask in this room, how would you define project portfolio management? Anyone?
I'll do it by analogy. I mean, there's a project engineer or project manager, and then there's a program manager. Program manager would be more like your portfolio management. It encompasses a lot of projects.
Yep.
And a lot of financial stuff, a lot of the asset stuff, a lot of the configuration management. And it'll allow each one of those projects to be viewed either dynamically or statically.
That's great. Fantastic. Anyone else?
It's basically managing all your programs and projects in your organization and helping to ensure that those align with your strategic initiatives in your organization.
Yeah, strategic initiatives is a big part of portfolio management, yes.
I guess first choosing the projects or activities that most contribute to those strategic projects.
Yeah, I think so.
And then managing them to achieve those goals.
Exactly. So it's looking at the holistic view of all of the projects, and the simplest way that I like to describe it sometimes is it's not about doing projects right, it's about picking the right project. So it's about that selection phase and picking the projects that are going to add the most value to the organization. So that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, is not only just the project management, but the portfolio management aspect as well. Yes?
What is it based on? Is it based on PM, Inbox version 3, or IDLE, or any and all of those?
Yeah, good question. It is, we think of our tool as methodology agnostic, so it really doesn't matter what methodology you're using. Now, certainly within the tool, most of the components have been designed around PMI standards, because that really is kind